Hello, everyone. We have got, I'm so excited. Quite frankly, this is a personal thing. My son is a data scientist, and so I always love data stories because slowly I begin to learn what it is that my son does. But today we've got Joel Carusone. He's the CEO of Radius, and they're running a great Data for Good program, and we're excited to talk about it. So stick around. Don't miss this.
Welcome to the Your Mark on the World show with your champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
This episode is made possible via the support of our sponsors, including Johnson & Johnson's Caring Crowd. Joel, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're thrilled to have you and appreciate you making the time for us. Tell us about Data for Good at Radius.
Yeah, so Data for Good is a new initiative that we kicked off a couple of months ago. And the idea behind it was that, data, sales data, marketing data has been getting a pretty bad rap as of late. And I think us, Radius as a company, that's obviously our core business proposition. So we wanted to show that there are other things that data can be used for that obviously have, a positive effect for society.
Excellent. So give us some examples of how, of what you're doing with Data for Good.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of different components to the to the initiative or the product offering. So for clients, existing clients of Radius, these are for-profit companies. We've got a like a credit-based system. If they can show us that they're using our products, using the underlying data that we bring to the table for social causes, we'll actually credit them back the fees that they would normally incur as a customer. And then for customers that are nonprofits, we actually took it beyond just like a discount, but we're giving away our offering, giving away data again for for them to be able to use for sales and marketing, as long as it's for obviously a social cause, and that's something that we've actually seen some pretty good uptake on already.
Excellent. And can you give us a specific case study that you can walk us through how someone is using their data for good or using their data for a nonprofit?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think there's two that kind of led us to say, maybe we should do a program like this. So Pat Live, customer of ours, they typically are in the phone answering services for businesses. And when we were in conversations with them, just on like a standard QBR, found out that they had been offering free services to businesses that were affected by one of the recent hurricanes. So while they were unable to actually, open their establishment, may not have had phone service available at that time, they were offering their services for free to help those businesses, be able to keep up with their customers so that when they could rebuild and get back to, running the business, that they didn't really lose a beat. And then we've got a similar use case. One of our larger clients, payment processor, similar story after one of the hurricanes, was being proactive, using, the data that they were getting from the Radius platform to be able to support those businesses, make sure that they were able to get back up in operation as quickly as possible. So, we've got some existing folks that, have been using the offerings for that type of purpose. And our hope is with pushing this out into the market that both, other customers of ours will take advantage of it as well as it'll, hopefully bring on some new folks as well.
Let's take a step back for a minute. Tell us more about Radius and the sorts of service offerings that you traditionally offer.
Yeah, so we got a couple of different offerings that we bring to market. Our primary offering, which we call Radius Discover, is typically for marketing ops folks looking for top of funnel. So identifying net new leads that they can go out and prospect to, some data stewardship type capabilities, enriching records within the CRM or the marketing automation to help create better customer experiences or prospect experiences. We also have a platform offering, which we call Radius Unify. It's part of our, what we call a customer data platform or enterprise customer data platform. The idea is, especially for larger businesses, lots of different data sources, some first party, some third party, the ability to create that golden record. So blend all of these different sources together, whether it's something that we bring to the table as part of the relationship or things that they have internal, to again create better experiences for customers, help create tailored messaging, things like that. So the Unify offering, which is the CDP side, typically is targeted towards large enterprise clients. And then the Discover offer is more for like mid-market and lower end of enterprise.
So the Unify is designed to help bring disparate data sets into ones for the purpose of identifying individuals, learning more about what their wants and needs and interests are. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep. Yeah, so the idea was Radius, when we started the company, was really a data provider. So we were partnering with different data sources, data vendors. We had some network contribution through our customer base. And we were creating this data set that we called the Radius Business Graph, and then we would sell it and offer some tooling on top of it. And over time, more and more clients were asking about licensing technology. So the thinking was, we built this really great infrastructure to produce our own data set. Why don't we build a product on top of it that allow other customers or companies to take advantage of some of that work, which is ultimately what led to the Radius Unify offering.
So as you look at what you're doing, how are the companies that you were helping were using your services in this kind of data for good sense? Give us a sense of how they were using your data to accomplish their good.
Sure. So in the hurricane type support use case, this was trying to identify all of the businesses within specific zip codes that were affected by a hurricane. Right? So our data set and our platform provides firmographic information, names, addresses, phone numbers, owners, things that are relevant to actually get in contact with a business potentially in an affected area. And then they were truly just giving it to their outbound prospecting team to call and say, hey, we think that you may have been affected. We're doing this, this offering for folks that are affected to help keep their businesses, going during the rebuild process. And obviously at that point it was moved more towards their internal approaches for things. So that's what we've heard in the conversations with them. Because our data set covers pretty much every business in the U.S. And it has a fair amount of segmentation capabilities, they could easily hone in on a population of businesses that were good fits for their offering.
Excellent. Well, Joel, you've been at this for a while. What are you most proud of having accomplished?
Oh, interesting. So I think the Radius, our most recent offering, the Unify offering, was something that I had dreamt up about 1.5 years ago. We pitched it to one of our larger customers. This was before it even existed, and they were like, how do we sign up? And we ended up going down this process of some co-development with them. Happy to say that they literally just entered the second year of that contract. So seeing that go from basically an idea, pitching the idea, and all the way to now having it be a fully working product that can support use cases like this data for good, I think is the thing that I'm the most proud of in my time at Radius.
As an entrepreneur, what's the most important thing you've learned?
Mentors, I think, is the single most important thing. I took over as CEO about 4 months ago now, from the founder of the business who had been running it from the beginning. So I joined with a product and engineering background, data analytics and whatnot, but getting ramped up on the financing and the HR and all of the other aspects to like truly running a business is really where I've been leaning on a lot of the mentors that I've developed over my time throughout my career.
And why was the Data for Good initiative important to you to add to what you were doing?
So our business is all around sales and marketing data for B2B. And I think there's been a lot of conversations as it relates to consumer privacy, consumer data, and some of the, both the positives and negative usages of that. B2B is really flying under the radar a bit. And our model is very much there's a consortium aspect to it. So we do leverage some of the exhaust data that our clients are generating as part of their normal business processes to do things like validation and verification of different data points. So we wanted to make sure that B2B didn't really get glanced over. We thought that there was an opportunity that we could step up, we could be a leader in that space, You'll see more and more investments from Radius over the coming months as it relates to privacy, but with a focus on the B2B side of things.
Excellent. Joel, what is your superpower?
So it took a little while for me to come up with a good one for this one. I think my ability to take really, really complex problems and break them down into small components, and then be able to take action or come up with solutions to be able to address those kind of bits and pieces of it to ultimately put together kind of a full solution for a specific use case. It's, I think, gotten me to where where I've gotten to today in my career, and I think it will continue to help me as I advance throughout the rest of my working life.
Excellent. Well, Joel, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Before you go, would you take just a minute and tell people how they can learn more about Radius and how they can connect with you personally?
Yeah, absolutely. So website is radius.com, very easy, and Joel at Radius. Try to keep it as simple as possible. I'd love for folks to reach out if they want to hear more about the Data for Good product or the initiative, as well as how to participate.
Excellent. Well, Joel, thank you very much. We wish you every success with your Data for Good initiative.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the time.
All righty. Let's do some good.
At Caring Crowd, we believe everyone has the power to make a difference. Through our crowdfunding platform for community health, we empower passionate people to drive real change. Whether you work for a nonprofit organization, volunteer, or want to get involved for the first time, you can post a campaign on Caring Crowd. Join us, because caring is where change begins.
Thank you for listening. Devin Thorpe's mission is to end extreme poverty, improve global health, and mitigate climate change before 2045 by finding and sharing the stories of those who are doing the most good. You can join with other listeners to accelerate Devin's mission by visiting helpdevin.org right now.